A family celebrating a $1.6 million upgrade, a brand new, fully inclusive playground at Bliss Park, replacing equipment that stood for nearly 2 decades.
Western Mass News reporter Matt Price shows us the new features and what parents love about the new design.
After months of designing and construction, the new playground at Longmeadow's Bliss Park is officially open to young children and tweens. And so far, kids like East Longmeadow's Althea and Primo Framarin have a favorite piece of equipment.
The really big slide.
Really big. Why is it the big slide?
Because it goes up really high. The same thing.
You like the same thing?
Yeah.
While the new play area had its soft opening earlier in the month, town and state leaders gathered in the park on Tuesday to make it official. The nearly $1.6 million project was funded through a grant from the Land and Water Conservation Fund, as well as the Community Preservation Act and the Capital Improvement Plan. Longmeadow's town manager, Lynn Simmons, calls seeing dozens of kids taking advantage of the equipment during the last several days a tremendous sight to see.
It's just been packed with kids and grandparents and caregivers and just older kids, teens and tweens. Everyone is using this playground.
By everyone, she means everyone. From the giant Hydra Tower and musical instruments to zip lines and swings, the playground is now far more inclusive than what it replaced. A key objective the Framarin kids' father, Michael, says will benefit everyone.
It is really tall, but it's pretty accessible though. Even Primo, he's 5, he could get to the top of it. They did a really good job. Nothing but good things to say.
The new playground also follows a June 2023 incident when prosecutors say 2 juveniles poured acid on the slides at Bliss Park, injuring 4 children. The 2 were indicted that October. That incident helped speed up the timeline, but officials say it wasn't the main reason for the upgrade. For those who are worried about safety, Simmons tells Western Mass News there are lots of options.
If there is a piece of apparatus here that you do not feel comfortable with, stay away from it. And there's plenty of other pieces of apparatus here that kids can play on safely to their ability.
The expectation is to have this equipment last for at least 20 years. A lengthy period that will see kids slide into so much fun day after day. In Longmeadow, Matt Price, Western Mass News.